Sorry, that was a bit of a rough link in there. I apologize for being late. Hey there, it's the Phantom Safety Pin. Hope you all enjoyed my replay of Myst IV Revelation, the finale to Atris's family drama. Revelation is a fun, if flawed, experience, and it has something pretty unique to the Myst series in it, in that it uses a little bit of mysticism to tell its story. In no other game in the series, including Myst V, do we ever see this idea of a necklace that shows memories, a spirit world or subrealm within an age, or anything even close to something like a spirit guide. It's truly something unique to Revelation and its final age of Serenia. The closest I can think of might be the Barrow in Myst V and Uru, or when Savidro mentions the Narayani belief in spirits in his journal. But the Barrow, well, super weird, are more like aliens than spirits, and Savidro isn't exactly the most reliable narrator, is he? Before we head into the Cleft and the Dunny Caverns below, I just wanted to quick cover a topic I haven't really seen addressed anywhere else. How Myst IV chooses your spirit guide in Serenia, the Age of Dreams and Spiritual Rebirth. Back when I first ran Myst IV, the community wasn't really clear exactly on how the game chose your guide, only having vague ideas of what might cause it. There were no guides out there for how to get a specific one. You just kind of played the game as usual for the Myst series, reading journals, enjoying the pretty scenery, cracking through puzzles, and using the tools given. And you'd pretty much always end up as a child of water as a result, unless you purposefully were speedrunning or skipped a few things. It was thought for a while that the game might have been bugged, or that certain things could actually alter it at the very start. Supposedly, if you look at things like Akinar's wind chime, or play with the Tamana birds, listen to Yisha play her flute, or spend a long time in Spire, you could end up as a child of wind. If you let Yisha's beetles out of their container, ignore her entirely, use the zip mode or hint guide a lot, or spend lots of time in Haven, you were a child of fire. And if you like to play around with the tap function, pay attention to Yisha, and hang around areas of water, you would be a child of water, the default. Some people even thought it was randomized, or the game itself was bugged to always give you Child of Water. This all made trying to find a specific spirit guide, if you wanted to, all but impossible. You'd always end up getting the same one no matter what you did, and that would almost always be water, and almost never fire. But, about a year or so after the game released, it was revealed that almost none of this was true, and there is in fact an actual scale the game uses to find your spirit guide. That's right, Ubisoft programmed an actual karma system into Myst IV Revelation. We just didn't know how it worked yet. As it turns out, everyone had a little bit of the right idea, but nobody had the correct solution. It took a little data mining and experimentation by the Myst TAS and speedrunning communities to figure it out in full, but now we know exactly how spirit guide selection works in the game, and I'm going to explain in detail how, just in case you decide to play this game yourself and want the extra challenge of trying to force a certain spirit guide to appear. Myst IV Revelation's spirit guide system works on a scale of 0 to 1, with certain actions and tool use changing what number you get. First, let's go over some things that definitely don't cause your spirit guide to change. Tapping objects with the cursor. Yeah, me zapping myself in Spire didn't do anything to affect my outcome here. It was fun though. Releasing Yisha's beetles, possibly. You'd think this would do it, but it's really unclear if this affects anything, if at all. At least I haven't seen anything that suggests it does. Using the journal to take notes, or the camera to take a lot of pictures. We have plenty of screenshot tools now to take advantage of this, and this is just a fun thing to do. It doesn't affect anything. Spending a long time in any specific age, or area in any of the ages. No, all the time you spent yelling at the Mangry puzzle, or trying to do the crystal organ, does not count for your spirit guide. Reading journals thoroughly without using the necklace. This is just part of playing the game, which is... Why would that affect anything? Why? Making a lot of game saves. And no, what you title them doesn't matter either. Viewing specific memories, such as the Myst V Exile flashbacks, or the ones that repeat messages in Serenia. Failing to solve puzzles repeatedly. Being bad at Myst IV is not going to affect your spirit guide. Whether or not you pay any attention to Yisha and Tamana at the start, except for a few cases which I'll get into. And looking at or using the cursor to play with certain objects in the environment, like wind chimes, water pools, animals, or objects in any of the rooms. Instead, it works like this. The game starts you at a baseline of 1, as long as you play the game as intended for a Myst game. There's a bit of a list of what does and doesn't change it, and certain places that the game will check in order to change your result, and most of them are at the very start of the game. Starting off in Tomana at the beginning, you can gain points for taking a photo at Yisha's request while on the monorail ride to Adris's lab, especially if you take the photo directly of Yisha. Finish the Crystal Viewer frequency slider puzzle when Adris asks for your help. Backing out of it cancels doing it. That's right, you don't have to listen to him tell you to
try moving the slider to select a different signal.
This puzzle is optional. Checking out Yisha's gecko when she points it out in the greenhouse. Viewing it later on the side of Adris and Katran's room doesn't do anything. Watching Yisha play the flute in the room downstairs in the greenhouse, where you find the family tree. And no, this doesn't default you to Child of Wind, that's another misconception. Contacting Adris on Rhyme with the Crystal Viewer, as he asks you to do after starting the water wheel. Using the viewer to preview Haven and Spire also does nothing, except give you pretty images. As you can see, that's most of your points right there, so that whole intro sequence in Tomana at the very start isn't just for padding, it has a point. From there, other things will influence the result you get, mostly pertaining to just playing the game as normal. One of the biggest is just using linking books, which you do anyway, where you can gain points for using both of the Spire and Haven linking books found in Tomana. You can't do one or the other, it has to be both of them in the same playthrough for this point. That means you have to at least visit each age once, with Spire being the only one actually required to beat the game. Linking to Tomana from both Spire and Haven. Again, it has to be both. You can't just do one or the other, or you won't get the point for it. Using the Serenia linking book in Tomana found under Yisha's bedroom, a thing you'll be doing anyway to beat the game, so you'll always get this point. Using the Tomana linking book found in Serenia in the cavern you link into, which you only ever need to do if you visit Serenia before the other prison age, or just want to see the exile flashbacks. Which you really should, because Myst IV Exile kicks all of the ass in After accounting for that, the game then looks at how you used the tools available to you, and how much of the game you actually experienced. This is also the only time you can lose points. You can gain and lose points in the following ways. For every minute you spend in the game, you earn some points, up to a total of 1,200 minutes, or 20 hours. Yes, the game expects you to spend a long time with it, and yes, the game has a speedrun achievement built in, it's just not advertised. For every memory viewed with the necklace, and there's a total of 101 of them in the game, you get some points. Having the journals read to you counts as one memory, I believe. For every use of the built-in hint guide found on the main menu, you lose points. You have to click on it and follow the link to the online guide, and it only counts up to 25 uses. If you prefer to casually use a walkthrough, or just really suck at puzzles, which I don't know why you're playing a Myst game if you do, it can affect your results. So basically, yes, being a child of fire is in fact Myst IV telling you to get the. For every use of the zip feature, you also lose points, but it only counts the first 30 uses of it. Speedrunners have made really good use of this feature, and everyone else uses it for convenience. That means if you're speedrunning the game, you'll likely be a child of fire, while if you use this function to avoid the obnoxiously slow transitions and try to do everything anyway, you'll probably end up as a child of wind. Then, for the Spirit Ceremony, the game considers your score from the above and looks at proximity to the closest third for your final result, then assigns you a spirit guide based on that. If you get between 0 and 1/3, you're a child of fire. Drawn to exciting new experiences, you are always seeking adventure over stasis. You don't have time to stop and smell the roses, you have a Yisha to save! You're probably a speedrunner or a competitive gamer, and proud of it, always trying to improve and always looking to win, though some people might call you a tryhard for it. Sometimes, though, your desire to succeed can make you miss the deeper meaning in things, making you seem impatient or getting you into trouble. Despite that, you always find a way to blaze forward anyway, and always find the answers you seek, whether anyone tries to stop you or not. If you get between 1/3 and 2/3, you're a child of wind. Attracted by challenge and diversity, you know that it's best to keep things quick, while also slowing down to think as needed. Like fire children, you dislike stasis, but like water children, you like to consider all of your options before making a decision. You know that you're on a mission and time is of the essence, but you also appreciate the richness of the ages you're exploring and the memories made in them. This might make you look flighty or indecisive to some, but it's not your fault. You just want to do everything and know everything at the same time. You're probably the type of gamer that likes to challenge themselves, but doesn't like to try too hard. So as a result, you're a balanced person, always moving swiftly to the heart of the matter, yet willing to take the time needed to understand it. And if you get between 2/3 and 1, you're a child of water, the default. You flow through life like a rolling stream, taking time to appreciate the beauty and richness of life around you. You're probably the type of gamer that Myst really appeals to, those who like slow, story-driven experiences and deep, complex mechanics or puzzles to sink your teeth into that take time to get good at. Odds are you spent a lot of time just staring at how pretty the ages are, or appreciating the small details, while also trying to be damn sure of exactly which brother might be trying to fool you. You are confident in your ability to succeed, but willing to seek help when answers seem elusive, which might make some people consider you a bit aloof or slow to respond. In the end, though, your measured and slow approach can break down barriers that most never thought possible, allowing you to persevere where others fail. In other words, you're the default Myst protagonist, the perfect person to handle whatever your adventures throw at you. Congrats, you're in very good company, fellow stranger. And that's how it works. Now you know exactly how to make certain spirit guides show up. The Myst fanbase couldn't have done it without the invaluable help from the Myst speedrunning community, and I couldn't have done this guide without sites like Arcade and the now-defunct Myst Lore Wiki. Special thanks goes to Tav from the former Uro Obsession and Myst community forums for finding the exact numbers way back in 2005. And a big thank you to Cyan, the Myst community, and MystTube as a whole for creating and cherishing these games, as well as to you for watching this video. I wouldn't be here without you guys. Now, if you'll excuse me, I do believe I have another adventure to go on. Catch you on the flip side.